Hey there, Brian. It's me, Dr. Frowny Face. Are you ready to make a movie?
I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Blues, women, and blues. I'm here, I'm there, I'm
Folks,
everywhere.
how's it going? We are here just outside of Los Angeles, California, and I hate saying just outside, but I feel like I wouldn't be truthful if I said we were in LA. We're in like LA area.
Yes.
Is that Southern California, right?
We are.
Movies are made here. Magic, all kinds of dreams and stuff. And I'm here, of course, co-host Sarah Bollinger. This is Dr. Brian King. We are on the road, and this is a treat. We have a special treat for you guys today. Do you want to tell them who our
Yes,
guest
I do,
is?
please. So, we are here in the home and home studio of the director, author, prop master, eccentric extraordinaire, Dusty Trice, who we had the pleasure of collaborating with on our book.
Do we collaborate?
Yes,
I don't
we
admit
did.
to anything, all right? So this is Dusty Trice's new book, latest book rather, called The Rise of Dr. Frowny Face. And read the description right there. What kind of book is this?
The erotic sci-fi thriller by Dusty Trice.
Yeah. Hey, give it up, Dusty. How you doing?
I was told that there would be whiskey.
This is a BYO whiskey type of podcast.
Yes.
Well, conveniently, I brought my own, which is good.
Very
It's
good.
nice being on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Good to have you. And of course, yes, as Sarah pointed out, we did collaborate on this project.
Yes, I'm just like
yeah.
screaming
And Sarah
on it.
graces its
Yes.
covers. Yeah, no,
That's-
this was a really fun one to work on. I was pretty excited to be doing anything. Frankly, I came up with this story during the pandemic and got a chance to talk to you, and you put your extremely unique stamp on the mayor. There's a character in this book who's a mayor named Stu Paddock, and he is just a disaster, and we have Brian to thank for that.
How did this project come about, though? I mean, like,
Whiskey.
it wasn't
Lots of it.
but it wasn't supposed to be a book at first. That's the thing.
No, that's
what
the
happened
thing.
here.
Before we get into that, do you have all your guests sit like this on the podcast?
Oh, usually it's just the female guests.
Are
It's
you
kind
getting
of
bite?
becoming.
Are you getting bite?
Yeah, I think it's
Can you
kind of
see it?
becoming a standard, wouldn't you
You know,
think, Sarah?
okay. Well,
Yes.
let me just tell you first off that you can go online. I was in a film here recently called Beauregard. If you want to see my full butt, you can go check out that. I think on YouTube even.
I was disappointed to find out they did not use a prop butt.
No, that was.
I was like, that's really Dusty's ass.
I'll tell you what. I got to set one day and they were like, you're going to be wearing this flesh-colored like mankini. And there was a pig that was supposed to be on set, and the pig got a trailer. I had to go. It was below freezing out in the middle of the California desert, and I'm stripped buck naked inside of a horse trailer. I get out on set, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to take those off. They're gonna dump me. Not spoilers. They're gonna dump me off of this like gurney, butt naked in the middle of the frozen desert." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna do that just buck naked." So the director actually took off his shoe, took off his sock, and handed me his sock and said, "Try that."
So you're wearing a sock, a penis sock.
Yes, I'm wearing.
Off of the director's foot.
Yes. Well, so I went to go give it back, and he's like, no, you can keep that. So I said, I got to get this guy another pair of socks. So I went on Amazon and ordered up some pickle socks and gave it to him at the premiere. This is good whiskey.
Yeah,
You guys didn't provide. I was told
I,
there would be whiskey.
We've established that you've written a book.
The real
And,
questions, yes. Rise of Dr. Frowny
Dr.
Face.
Frowny Face. It started
Available
as-
everywhere fine smut is peddled.
That's right, and also shitty smut. So Frowny Face started as a movie script. You
Yes.
know, Dusty and I were bored. We were creative, and we were like, let's collaborate. Let's write a movie. We
And
wrote
Brian's
this movie.
hilarious. So like I'm really good. I'm good at story, but Brian is just killer at dialogue. So, I mean, as soon as I approached you with it, I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty apprehensive on this. But I sent him a video dressed as Dr. Frowny Face. But I sent you a clip, and I'm like, let's make a movie.
Yeah. You know, my rule was that if we're gonna write like a smut B movie kind of script,
Smut.
it has to
Check
have
it.
lots of
smut.
gratuitous nudity, drugs, transvesticism, prostitution, like all the stuff.
main character
the
is bi.
staples, the staples, right? The
Yeah.
staples of a B
Yes.
movie. So we wrote the script, and we thought it'd make a nice book. And the book came out. Dusty is the workaholic. I'm just sort of the creative person. And then now it's going to be like a big series. Like Dusty's got this whole. It's the Frownyverse universe.
Yes. Right now I've got like 5 different books planned, and I mean we've had an amazing response on Amazon, this is my first one releasing it myself.
Yeah, amazing,
and
a
lot.
Reviews just trash it. It's funny. It's polarizing. It's a very polarizing book. Wouldn't you say? Like people either love it or they hate it so much.
One guy was like, I regret reading this and I disinfected my Kindle. There's another guy who was like, this isn't offensive, it's boring. This thing is offensive. I don't know what would offend this guy.
I think the worst thing you could say about our book is that it's boring. Like I think that's the worst. He knew that. He knew because it's clearly not boring.
No.
But
it's all satire. It's all meant in good fun. It's all tongue in cheek, but it's ripped from the headlines. Yeah. Everything that happens in this book actually has played out within the last year or two. It's only been out for it's almost a year now. And the things that from nuclear war to the abortion issue, which we talked about in Las Vegas. Brian and I talked about this at the Cosmo in Vegas. And I brought out my note cards and went through piece by piece, and I hit that abortion one, and I was like, I'm expecting him to cringe now.
Yeah.
I went in knowing it was loaded.
I actually loved the abortion inclusion, and then we added other things that were topical at the time.
We should explain that. It's not just abortion.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, I'm all about getting
So there's
abortions.
like four ways to look at this. You're pro-choice. You're pro-choice. Help me out here. Pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Pro-abortion.
Pro-abortion.
Pro-life. Yeah.
Pro-life. But then there's, forced births, which is the thing that people are talking about in the news all the time. But I was like, okay, let's go the Chinese way. Let's do forced abortions.
Yeah.
So I had these 2 characters that were going to be zombies, and I'm like, you have serial killers, so if they're talking about abortion as murder, could you have a serial abortionist? And so these 2 characters become serial abortionists. And they run around, and Dr. Frownyface needs these aborted fetuses. And anyway, not to spoil.
It's
spoilers.
Don't give it away.
That's not. We want
spoilers.
Don't give away the story. But the book was it was a labor of love because that's all it could be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we did it because we enjoyed it. It was fun.
You have to use these words, or at some point they're going to take them away. You have to say these things, or at some point they're not going to let you.
It was written during the coronavirus pandemic, and so there's a virus that is unleashed in the population at a point, But I think I had what I considered to be a stroke of genius with this book, and it helped to shape the overall plot. And that was I included in it a very subtle Jaws reference. Then that Jaws reference, as it built up, just became more and more interesting.
And it builds on the satire of a political figure that is absolutely clueless about what their constituents are actually saying, or just deliberately waffling. Just to be slippery little fucks. That's all it's about.
Sarah, the model that she is, was like inspiration for like all the characters.
Let me just say, Sarah is like when I run ads and stuff with my face on it, nobody wants this piece of shit. But when I run ads with Sarah on it,
I don't understand why you have this beautiful. You have access to this photo plus like hundreds of others, and it takes up like an inch of the total.
I don't know, but I am glad
cover,
the title has changed slightly. You left the 18 plus as a little disclaimer there.
Yeah.
And before you had another like thing where you were telling, in my opinion, too many details.
Yes.
Including the forced abortions and all that. I'm like, Dusty, I really don't want forced abortions next to my body.
No, but next to her body, though.
Right.
Like,
I wanted to leave
this bikini girl to give up her kid.
And being an indie publisher, like I had to actually conform with the templates that the powers that be sent, and so that went away because they couldn't print it, not because I didn't want it there. Yeah, forced abortions, violence, sex, drugs, violence, forced abortions, space robbery.
That's hilarious.
This book has everything.
I enjoyed the book. It was fun to write, but I believe that I would enjoy it if I didn't write it. I think it's actually really entertaining, and it came out really well.
I read it in one day at a children's theme park like this, and people were going by like, "What's going on?" You know.
This is the type of fiction that actually does come with a warning at the front.
Yes, it does. Yes.
So this was kind of our biggest collaboration between me and Dusty.
Yeah.
But we've known each other for a while, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how we met and how we have come to work together.
Well, I feel like I'm in repose, and I feel like you need to be in repose here soon. Get over here and repose with me.
If it were up to me, Sarah would be in repose.
Come repose.
And
Brian,
we would just be talking around
Brian,
her.
come repose. Brian, come repose with me.
No. Stay where you are.
Repose with me. We met. I had a thing here I worked on with another guy here in Hollywood called the Stand-Up Bus. You came on and you did a set on this bus. It was a 1990s prison bus, like a blue, you know what I'm talking about, like LA riots. That's all. Every video has one of these buses in it.
Yes.
So we gutted it out and we put a comedy club, and it fit like 16 uncomfortably every single time we did a show. And
16, really?
16.
I kind of remember I remembered like 6.
You had to like really pack in there. And then the stage was up at the front.
What gave you the idea to do to take an old prison bus and turn it into a mobile comedy club?
So this was Mike Frankovich, who's another comedian here in town. This was his like. He was a car guy. It was his dream to actually do like car stuff. That was what he wanted to do. I do set design and directing and all this other stuff, and just my skills work to grab the curtains, make the curtains. So I did like the backsplash on the bus. He got the bus up and running, got air conditioning in the bus, which in LA was like hugely important. Yeah. We spent like $1,200 on a speaker system that never got used because we couldn't use it unless the bus was driving.
Oh, wow.
Many mistakes.
Wait, so it would only work if the bus was in motion? It would only
work if we were in motion, and we never did shows in motion because, like, you could only fit enough comedians on to, like, kill 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But the bus would be on, like, it would go to the Hollywood Bowl, or, up behind the Hollywood Bowl, or to the Rose Bowl, or down on Sunset Boulevard, and we could just pull off on the side and do a little show, text out or email out comedians we knew, and... it was just a really fun art project. This is like my second life, so that was like the first foray into doing something creative like that and just going overboard.
In hindsight, it sounds like a terrible idea.
Doesn't it? What was worse is we finished it all and we shot all this stuff, and there were some comedians who are slightly better known than us who, after we completed it and started doing it, they went out and did it in a bus too.
Oh, yeah?
And it was gloriously wrapped. Like, it had no budgetary problems whatsoever. It was just gorgeous. And we're out there in our, like, broken down prison bus.
So that's how we originally met.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, Sarah, you weren't really missing a whole lot.
No, this was a great idea.
Show. Like, when he just told me about it, I myself had so many ideas of things that you could do with that. I mean, right? Really.
We would do street fairs. We did on the anniversary of Back to the Future, like, he and I both dressed up in Marty McFly vests. So we drove around the thing in the bus playing Back to the Future music. We did the Doodah Parade a couple years in a row, which is in Pasadena. It's like this weird parade where they throw tortillas at you. And it's an awesome parade.
I remember performing once at a food truck festival that you had
always food truck stuff. Now it's some college kids bought it from us. They were going to do the van life thing in this old prison bus, and it ran really great. It had a great extra AC and
I wonder
$1,200 sound system. Never used. You know what? I'm really serious. You need to come over here and repose with me.
Me or Sarah?
Brian, come over here. Repose with me.
With you? No, let's switch places.
No, we can't switch. Come over here. Sarah's gonna.
I got my camera set up for a 2-person shot.
You are gonna come over here and repose, and Sarah's gonna interview us about Frowny Face.
I will say that it looks comfy. I'm gonna join you over here. Can I get one of them whiskeys?
Yes. Hey. Now we're in repose.
This is your creative space.
We are in my office. This is where I do all my work. This is weird. Doing an interview. We should have Sarah do questions.
Ask some questions, Sarah.
Re-ask the question.
Well, I was just commenting.
Ask the question about my office again. Ask it again.
Go ahead.
It's a good question. Ask it.
So tell me about your office.
No,
Here,
I don't
Dusty.
want to anymore. I was all queued up. No, okay, so this
No, I don't even want to hear about it
This is
anymore.
So I have to comment. I have
This
to comment
is my-
first. Wait. I have to
Okay.
make one because maybe they can see here. Back
Yeah.
here, there are 4 different corkboard
I keep 9 boards
Yes.
in my office.
Yeah.
3.
full of these little tiny push pins, and it looks like Dusty's either a serial killer slash
It's very
crime
pinhead.
solver.
They're all
I
in
feel like
order,
there should
though.
be
They're
like
like lined up.
some yarn going from like pinpoint to pinpoint. And then I saw this, and this was like my little cue everywhere.
Note cards
this
everywhere.
room.
What is it?
Or
Everywhere.
note cards.
This is my world famous
That are
jotter.
equally
I have
as
dozens
spaced.
of these. If
Yes.
anyone ever wants to give me gifts,
That is so-
jotters.
That is so old school.
Is
Really,
it?
you know, we have cell phones now.
Right,
That
and
we
I-
can shot stuff on.
I only just for this
Yeah.
last novel, or for this next novel I'm doing, I only just got an iPad,
Yeah.
and it's because I've got like 100 pages of research,
Is it
and I can't.
possible? Is it possible to spread your legs open even more?
Yes.
Is it like as much as possible.
Is this gonna win
I'm
you?
glad we
YouTube
have.
views?
I'm glad we have pants on. Otherwise, we're getting taint shots.
Propose.
It would not
tape shots.
qualify for YouTube if we have taint shots on there. So
Taint shots.
we met doing a comedy show on a bus, and then our relationship progressed from that point. There was a time when I was on tour.
Right.
And you said you wanted to do like a little documentary.
Oh
about
man,
my
what a
life.
disaster that turned out to be. No, it was. I specifically was kind of going into the psychology and brain stuff, and I had this great idea to talk about the human brain, and then it turns out that I know fucking nothing about it.
And then I don't know. We've just we've been in touch over the years, traveling.
I feel like
Oh,
you need to do a
God.
belly button shot
Oh,
now.
my God. I think we just need Sarah in repose. The two of us can just go
Yeah, but
off
like I'm the
camera.
one who's usually in reposes in
That's
our
true. All right,
model. I mean,
direct
it's
us.
just, you know.
Okay, lose the shirt. All right, Sarah. Ooh, sexy.
All right, I gotta get more whiskey. I just had the
This
edibles.
book is hot, ladies and gentlemen. This is a good book.
It's doing well.
Sarah hiding her eyes. This book is sexy. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's topical.
So you
and,
know in movies when they like hit the sex scene, they're like, "Oh, I love you so much," and then you see the girl take her shirt off from behind, and then they show you like a swan and play some swooping music.
Yeah.
I just went full fuck scene with it.
You did. It's
I just was like, I don't want to cut away. We're gonna go all the way through.
there
this.
are some shocking moments for sure. Yeah.
Dusty has always made
Good choices
He's
in
had a
life.
nice career writing letters to Penthouse Forum.
I could have. I could have.
You're like.
I could have if I could have made a career out of reading it. I
You're
would
like,
have
hey,
fine.
Bob Guccione, I got another one for you.
So when I was in high school, you know, I did a lot of reading. One of the things is I remember I picked this book called, I think it was God's Green Acre or something, where they talked about it, and there was some apparently like
Is that
sexual.
the name for the taint? God's Green Acre.
It actually refers to Oregon, so get ready. But yeah, so and there's some incest things in there, and I
Are
remember.
you not comfortable in repose?
I'm
Is
listening
that
to
the
her.
problem? I'm
I'm
listening
so
to her.
comfortable in
story.
a pose. I mean, you know. But yeah, so it goes on about this, and I remember my teacher at the time just like, oh, that's kind of a naughty book that you're reading. So mild by comparison, let me just tell you.
But didn't it fuel you to want to read more when they're like, you
Yeah.
can't have this?
It did, you know.
I
It's
just
funny,
wanted
you
it
know.
more.
They're censoring so many books for kids of all ages now, and I'm
Right.
like, why can't you just let them read and make up their own mind about the world? You
Because their
know?
minds are so small.
We don't grow kids like we used to.
No.
We really
Tiny-headed, easily offended children.
We have a very sensitive society.
That's sort of been interesting for me because
I hate this position.
you don't like to repose.
I'm looking
Tag
at myself
team?
and I'm just like,
Tag team? Are you ready?
You ready? Okay.
I told you
Hey,
would be
oh
okay.
yeah, Sarah's supposed to ask questions.
She is going to be. In
I'm
repose
not
now.
drunk enough for
Sarah
this.
is. All right.
Okay, no, yes, let's switch
I
to the
warned them.
chairs.
I warned them that they were getting themselves in deeper than they realized.
Okay, you get in repose and we'll sit in the chairs.
Okay. So first of all, I warned the guys. I'm an art model, and I told them they were getting themselves in deeper in repose than they realized. So he's got all these pillows, and he wasn't really using them properly. You need the back support. You need the leg support.
I was
You can't
punishingly
just,
reposed.
all out. Yeah, man. What are you thinking?
I was punishingly reposed.
Get into it for real. If you're going to hold it for 20 minutes.
All right, so now what do we do? Now that she's in repose, we ask her questions.
Let's just stare at her.
Let's just stare for the next 5 minutes.
I think you got my whiskey. I think that was.
Oh, that was yes, yeah.
There we go. We got that. So,
So you may notice I'm only drinking out of the finest McDonald's collectible glasses.
Are these really from McDonald's? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, it says Rock Donald's.
You might remember these from the Flintstones starring John Goodman. These were promotional items at McDonald's, which is how I like to drink my whiskey. And then I have the Batman glasses from McDonald's.
Are these
for my
original?
wine. Yeah, these are original.
You can eBay these.
And you want to know what's even scarier? I have hundreds.
What questions do we have for Sarah? She is the
How
cover
do you like-
model
how do you like
of
the book?
Frowny Face.
How do you
I
like?
love it.
How do
And
you
I
like
have
the
to
book,
say-
Dr. Frowny Face?
Let her answer the damn question.
The book was upside down anyway. Dr. Frowny Face.
I love it. And I have
Answer us.
That's my co-host. Come on, she's my co-host. I don't even know why you're sitting here. All right.
I love it, and I have to say I do really love the illustrations. Every single one, again, as an art model, is a gesture. They're just so incredibly expressive, and there were, I can say for the photos I took of Brian, for the cover and things that we sent,
Right.
it was so fun to
good
make
book.
them. Yeah.
Redovision. It's got to have pictures.
Is that
right?
is that the company? Tell us about
The
your
company is Redovision. This is I had to come up with something by some law, whatever. I had to come up with a company that sells my smut, and so I decided to go with Redovision because what I really wanted to do and what I hadn't seen is people using illustrations. I just saw this again in Stephen King's fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
Every single chapter is illustrated on the front end, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I had wanted to do crappy black and white pictures. I wanted to show the mayor. I wanted to
You're
show the
successful with that.
With the pops of color.
Yeah.
I'm spilling
Classic
my
and
whiskey
awesome.
all over myself. Now I'm wet. I'm wet. Your questioning is making me wet.
Yeah,
Like,
newbie. It's his first interview. He's like, oh, I can't hold my liquor on camera.
I'm feeling fine. Let's go. I mean, come on.
But yeah, it's a good quality read. How long do you think it took you to read that, Sarah?
Probably longer than it took me to write it.
Probably about 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
I
You can
think
get on a plane and finish this reasonably.
It depends on your interruptions.
Yeah.
For me, I have a very.
You can read it
interrupted
there
life,
and back.
So, yeah.
I'm proud of it. My contribution to it, anyway. It's mostly Dusty. I'll admit, it's mostly.
I did the story and characters, and I sort of had this sense of where it's going, and I have a sense of where the story's going now, which I think is going to be fun. I wanted to go into all these taboo places and really satirize what we're seeing in the news. So the cool thing about this book is like everything in it has happened. It all came true.
What was your favorite part of it, Sarah?
The sex toys. I'm a woman. The sex sells women. When it comes to jokes and comedies.
Right.
People guys are afraid to tell it. Know that that's what we like.
I love that both of the main characters
Uh-huh.
are bisexual. I think that's the thing, and it just
right
slides
in
right by people. But both of the main characters are bisexual.
I just
No.
like the I like my so there was a character based on me, heavily
Yeah.
influenced by me.
Mayor
the
Stu
the
Paddock.
mayor. And I
Stupid Dick,
I
Stu Paddock.
love my. You know where that mayor that character came from? Actual a character that I came up with during lunch with a friend of ours, a mayor, right?
Yeah.
Sarah and I have a friend who's
Right.
a mayor of a city in the United States. I'm not going to say.
We're not gonna
which,
name
Yeah, if I
it,
narrow
yeah.
it down, it's really easy to Google. You know what I mean? But no, she's wonderful, and she took us to lunch one day.
Yes.
And remember,
She's
she
so
puts our name
nice.
on the list at the restaurant, and it's like they say that'll be like a half hour, Miss Mayor. And I'm just like, what? Like, you're the mayor. You know what I mean? Throw your weight around a little bit.
There's Brian as Mayor
Yes.
Stu
Right.
Paddock.
Yes.
What's your catchphrase?
I'm the mayor, bitch. So that's the sort of thing. Like I said to my friend, I was like, you're the mayor of this town. You don't wait for a
she's
table at a
just
restaurant.
So grounded and sweet.
Yeah, and she really is.
professional,
But that's
yeah.
why she's a successful politician, and I'm in your workspace getting in repose on a bed.
This was a huge thing for the series too, because it gives Dr. Frowny Face something to actually foil off of. I think people can see the connections between how the mayor plays
Definitely.
out and what's been in the news,
Yeah,
particularly
definitely.
with a certain ultra tan wig wearing weirdo. This is
and
this
so many
is,
other. You just read it
yeah,
and kind of
it's
chuckle.
every politician you've ever heard of, ever met. It is, and it's strangely accurate, and
Yeah.
we've seen it play out over and over and over again.
Especially the ninjas.
Especially,
Before I forget, I don't want to forget about our recognition that this started as a script.
yeah, it
We're
started
talking
as a
about
script.
making a movie, and we really went off. I mean, Brian and I were in Texas.
Right.
We thought about actual cast.
We thought about locations. I was looking at bridges and places on the river there. The hardest thing about getting something like this produced is we sent this off to Troma. And we got some lovely feedback from them on this. And
It was the
Greatest.
nicest
most beautiful
rejection ever.
rejection letter I've ever seen.
Thank you, Lloyd and Team Troma. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was really the nicest
You know what?
letdown
Maybe
I've ever
Troma
gotten.
will see this,
I
and,
doubt
and
it.
they'll reconsider. They'll be like, "Oh, those guys clearly have some
Have we
on-screen-
stooped to their level?
They
No,
clearly,
no.
they clearly have some on-screen
really good
chemistry."
feedback. And that's basically what they said. It's just, it sounded like we just needed to fill it out more.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
was a good, fun, fast read.
But what
Really.
they didn't say was fill it out more and then we'll take it.
Yeah, no.
Like, you should fill it out more and then send it to somebody else, not us, because we're
But no,
not.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't know what we have going on with
Right.
2 and 3 in your
Yep.
series, but I can see it being a more complete thing. And hey, now we've got some more.
Yep.
What do you think?
And
Why
it's
not? I mean,
satire ripped from the headlines. The hard part about that is I got to let more headlines go by.
Yeah, and but
And
also.
so-
It's the thing that I don't like is that obviously the longer it goes, the less those headlines are in people's heads. you know,
Right.
And so,
But it's
I have
kinda
to update
interesting.
some of the jokes.
I thought about this a little bit because some of my favorite things are like Laugh-In. I don't know if you ever watched Laugh-In.
yeah. Rowan and Martin.
And there's some jokes in there that they don't land the same, or in Monty Python they don't land quite the same because you don't know that pop culture figure now, all these years later, or what was going on. But
Like,
there's something.
what was the deal with Tiny Tim? Like, was he supposed to be funny? I don't get it. Like, he's just a guy with a
he was
ukulele. I don't
a
get that.
human
yeah.
meme.
Yeah.
He was. Oh.
But hey, I think we got to wrap up though. This has been wonderful. Do you want to finish that thought before I cut you off?
No.
Okay.
I was just gonna sing "Tiptoe Through the Tulips," which I can do.
Go ahead.
I'll sing
Do
it.
a Tiny Tim song.
I'll sing while you take us out. Okay.
All right, well, first of all, Sarah, do you have any?
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Sarah, do you have any more questions for Mr. Trice here?
We just tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good Tiny Tim.
Thank you.
Do you have any?
I think that'll do it.
All right, folks. Thank you, Dusty. I
That was a
appreciate it.
shit ad for this book.
Sarah,
Singing Tiny
Thanks
Tim.
for having us.
thank
I
you
wouldn't
so
blame
much.
you guys if you don't buy my book.
Oh,
This is kind of an unusual.
I'm fine if you don't buy it. It's
No,
just-
buy it.
Don't buy the book.
And then pirate it. I don't know. So
Yes.
pass it around.
I
The
do
point
agree
is,
with that.
I think the important thing is, like, obviously, you don't need the money. I mean, look at you. You're borrowing. But the important thing is that they read it, right? That's
No,
important.
just
No?
that they
All
pay
right.
for it. Well, it's better than if you steal it, read
right.
it. If you pay for it, I don't give a fuck.
I want to say thank you to Sarah for being my not only my co-host for this podcast, but also the incredible talent who is not only on the cover of this book, but the inspiration for many of the characters. in
Yes,
some
the
of
character
scenes,
Ginger
right?
in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of Sarah in this book, this work.
There's a lot of Sarah
I also-
on this book too.
I also want to thank Dusty for hanging, and it's been a good, solid bunch of years since we first met. I can't remember what year it was, but it's been a while. And
We're old.
cheers.
We can forget
Thanks for the drink. Thanks for the podcast. And for the rest of you, folks, thank you for tuning in to On the Road with Dr. Brian. Keep paying attention, keep subscribing, telling your friends about us and all that stuff, and thanks.
Check out my crap at dustytrice.com.
Say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for reading.
Repose you!
Bye-bye.
I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Blues, women, and booze. I'm here,